Hey everybody, it's Christine, and last month I did a class on Scrapbooking 101. This month we're going to do Scrapbook Sketches 101, and we're going to focus on one sketch for a whole bunch of layouts. Now, this is for a couple reasons. Number one, my life is really busy right now getting ready for school and such, and so I want to simplify things. Using a sketch simplifies. I have never taken this approach before, so you're viewing this with me for the first time. But I'm going to use this sketch over and over this month. Not exclusively for every single thing I do, but for a lot of them. So keep your eye out for these videos and keep your eye out for how different each layout comes out looking using this sketch. Now, this sketch comes from the Scraproom. And I am starting off today using the Scraproom kit, and I am going to be using the sketch for all of the Scraproom kit pages this month. So that will stay the same, especially because it's a Scraproom sketch. So you saw the sketch at the beginning, and it is a 2-picture sketch, very straightforward, with lots of room to build upon it. And I really liked it when I saw it, so I thought that's going to be one that I can easily do over and over, but put my own spin on. So I am using the DoubleShot kit today from the Scraproom, and this is the Kate and Ash collection from Simple Stories, which you've seen me work with before for Simple Stories. This was one of the page kits, and so I am going to roll with this. Now, the sketch calls for an outline, several layers of outlining, if you will, on the outer borders. I am sticking very closely to the sketch today. Throughout the month, you will see that change. You'll see me start in one direction and veer off in my own direction. But today stays pretty true. So you can see I've created that border using the black heart patterned paper. Then I'm going to do some additional layers, and you can see the sketch is sitting right there next to me, so that I can stick as closely to it as possible. So what I'm trying to determine right now is what other patterned papers I want to use with this. Now, I've got some major contrast going right now with the black and the lighter cream paper. So I'm considering that carefully. I don't want to bring in like a pastel as much. So this rich yellow paper is probably going to be a good option because it's more bold. If I brought in like that blue pastel flower paper, I think it would just look out of place just because I've got so much contrast going already. So I'm going to just mess around with my patterned papers here. The sketch calls for 2 layers behind the pictures. One is a bigger layer, and then the other layer tucks kind of behind it on the edges. Kind of like what you see I've got going there already, but I'm not sold on that one. So I'm going to cut this patterned paper too and see if I like it, if it will work there. Now, if you do have this page kit, you can pretty easily replicate what I'm doing today with your own page kit. So now you can see I'm looking at that cream, considering if it's going to work up against it. And you can also see right now it's lacking black in the middle, right? I've got black on in the picture, and my daughter's wearing dark colors, and I've got that black border. And so there's definitely, I like the colors, but the black is lacking. And so I'm going to play with this and try and figure out how to bring that in to the layout itself. Now, building the base of the layout for me is always the longest part. Usually the longest part, not always, but usually the longest part. Building the base, whether it's layers of patterned paper, whether it's adding stitching or mixed media, or creating some kind of a scenic background, this part always takes a good chunk of time. Partially because I'm just trying to find a good balance of the colors, also trying to find a good balance so that I don't overwhelm the pictures, trying to make everything coordinate, and also trying to see if I can do something clever with it. Because I'm working with a sketch today and I'm trying to stay pretty true to it, I'm not going to get real clever today. Simply going to just go straight forward. And yes, while I do like to do a clever spin on things more often than not, some days your brain just needs a recipe. And that's where I was at with this day. In fact, I was so overwhelmed at the thought of doing a variety of projects this month that when I came up with this idea to do the sketch class, I thought, that is exactly what my brain needs. And so keeping that in check, remembering like it's okay to do a really nice layout that doesn't have any major clever spin on it, and just make a layout look nice. That is totally okay. And sometimes we have to give ourselves permission to take a little bit different route than we normally do. Now, you can see how I am bringing black into the center there. I am taking my black Sharpie and I am doing some outlining along the patterned papers. Now, this is always a somewhat dangerous technique because inevitably you mess up. There's somewhere that you botch the outlining. Really good idea to do your outlining early in the process if you think of it. If you don't, then you figure it out. But a lot of times I try and do it as early on as I can so that if I make mistakes, when I make mistakes, I can cover those up with embellishments later. So just a little tip on that to keep in mind. See that I matted my pictures in white. That is something I really like to do, even if I'm not working with anything else white. In this case, I've got a lot of cream going on. I still like the look of white up against cream. It's just a classy twist on colors. And I am doing it consistently now because Simple Stories does have a lot of cream or off-white based layouts, or patterned papers, sorry. And so combining those with some white makes just for a really interesting and unique look. Now, the other way I'm going to bring black into the middle here is I am going to add this stripe down the middle, and this is part of the sketch. There is a stripe that just goes straight across the layout, and so I'm going to add that on. I'm also going to pop up my pictures using some crafty foam tape, and that will add some dimension because right now I've got a very, very flat layout. The sketch calls for the pictures to be staggered, and so I am going to do that, although I am going to do it in the opposite way that they do. So I did vary from the sketch there, but I am going to add my layout or my photos that way. And you can see like both of my pictures are really both focal points. They're not, a lot of times when you have a layout, you have like one that really is the showcase photo, and then from there you add just kind of some detail photos, if you will. And in this case, it is really both of them are telling the story. So these pictures are actually from my daughter and I on Black Friday last year, which I don't think is going to be a thing this year. And we were shopping. It was her first time to go out Black Friday shopping, and she wanted to get some Vans, and she had saved up babysitting money to get them. So this was a really important moment for me to tell. It's not just a random selfie. It's not just her looking cute. It's actually a moment in her life where she like made her first really big fashion purchase. And so I was really glad I had good pictures from it. And then when Simple Stories came out with this collection, I knew it would be great. But what I loved even more is that they came out with the boy side of this collection, Bro & Co., that had pictures or stickers that looked just like her Vans. And so I pulled those in from another kit from the Scraproom this month. She had the Bro & Co. collection in the Flavors of the Month kit. And so I pulled those over, which I don't usually mix and match my page kits, but it was necessary this time because when they match the shoes, you got to use them. So you can see I added in my title. I did that off camera, not intentionally, but I did. So you can see that I've got on there, life is short, buy fun shoes. I really wanted to just say buy the shoes, but I didn't have another T. So we went with fun, making it work as usual. And you can see how the title really pops up there because, once again, it's black. You can also see the other embellishments I added on there, enamel dots, a few little pieces of ephemera, and there you have it. So that is sketch number 1. Please be sure to check back for the next episode where I'll be playing with this sketch again, and we will see you again next time.